But remember, dreams without goals are just dreams, and they ultimately fuel disappointment.
Procrastination isn't just wasting your time, it's silently destroying your dreams, one tiny decision at a time. Every time you delay, you're not just putting off a task, you're choosing comfort over progress, and that choice is keeping you stuck. But here's the thing, procrastination isn't your fault. It's a survival instinct baked into your brain, designed to keep you safe. And once you understand how it works, you'll realize it's not a life sentence. It's a challenge you can overcome. Stick around because in this video, we're going to break down why procrastination feels so powerful, how to build momentum with just 3 minutes a day, and the simple mindset shift that can change everything. Procrastination isn't a lack of willpower. It's a way your brain avoids discomfort. At its core, procrastination is about avoiding something that feels hard, uncertain, or emotionally draining. Your brain is wired to prioritize short-term relief over long-term gains. Here's why. Your brain has two competing systems. The limbic system craves instant gratification, pushing you toward distractions that feel good now. The prefrontal cortex, on the other hand, focuses on logic and long-term goals. Unfortunately, in moments of discomfort, the limbic system often wins. Think back to a time you avoided something important. Maybe it was sending an email, making a phone call, or starting a big project. In that moment, your brain wasn't thinking about the long-term benefits. It was focused on escaping the discomfort of starting. The good news? This cycle isn't permanent. We'll explore a simple strategy to break free from this trap and build momentum in just 3 minutes. The 3-minute rule, breaking free from inertia. Starting is the hardest part. That's where the 3-minute rule comes in. Commit to working on a task for just 3 minutes. No pressure to finish, just start. Here's why this works. Once you begin, your brain triggers what's called the Zeigarnik effect, which creates a nagging urge to finish what you've started. It's like opening a tab on your browser. You can't resist the pull to close it once it's incomplete. Think of the last time you dreaded doing something, like cleaning your room. Once you forced yourself to start, it probably wasn't as bad as you thought. That's the power of momentum, and it all begins with those first 3 minutes. To make this work, pair the 3-minute rule with a habit you already have. For example, after your morning coffee, spend 3 minutes on the task you've been avoiding. Over time, this small action creates a habit loop that keeps you moving forward. Now that you're starting, how do you turn small actions into lasting results? Let's talk about the philosophy of tiny changes. Big transformations don't come from grand gestures. They come from small, consistent actions compounded over time. This is the power of what James Clear calls atomic habits. Habits so small they seem insignificant, yet over time they create massive change. Imagine filling a jar with drops of water. One drop feels meaningless, but keep going and the jar eventually overflows. That's how small habits work. Each small action is a vote for the person you want to become. For example, if you want to write a book, start with 1 paragraph a day. If you want to get fit, commit to just 10 minutes of movement. The goal isn't to do everything at once. It's to focus on 1% improvements daily. And here's the beauty of this approach. Small actions feel manageable, so you're less likely to give up. Over time, they compound into a life you once thought was impossible. Now that you know the power of small actions, how do you stay consistent when motivation fades? Let's explore systems over motivation. Motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Systems are what keep you moving forward, even when motivation is nowhere to be found. Systems are like autopilot for your habits, removing the need to constantly rely on willpower. For example, habit stacking. Tie a new habit to an existing one. Want to journal? Do it right after brushing your teeth. Scheduling. Block time for important tasks, treating them like non-negotiable appointments. Accountability. Share your goals with someone who will help you stay on track. Here's the truth. Consistency beats intensity every time. It's not about doing everything perfectly. It's about showing up, day after day, even when it's hard. But what happens when life throws you off track? That's where the bounce back plan comes in. Setbacks are inevitable. The key isn't avoiding them, it's bouncing back quickly. This is where the 2-day rule comes in. Never skip a habit 2 days in a row. 1 missed day is normal. 2 starts to create a new habit of not showing up. If you miss a workout, go back the next day, even if it's for 10 minutes. If you skip writing, write a single sentence tomorrow. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. Every time you bounce back, you're reinforcing resilience. You're proving to yourself that failure isn't the end. It's just a step in the journey. Now that you've built consistency, how do you make these habits part of who you are? Let's talk about identity-based habits. Your habits are votes for your identity. Every action you take reinforces who you believe you are. If you want to transform your life, focus not just on what you do, but on who you're becoming. For example, instead of saying, "I'm trying to exercise," say, "I'm someone who values health." When your actions align with your identity, they stick because you're not just acting differently, you're thinking differently. It starts small. Each healthy meal, each workout, each focused hour is a vote for the person you want to be. Over time, those votes add up and your identity shifts. This is how habits become automatic, not because you're forcing yourself to act, but because they become a natural extension of who you are. By now, you've learned the tools to overcome procrastination. Start small with the 3-minute rule. Focus on tiny changes that compound over time. Build systems to stay consistent. Use the 2-day rule to bounce back. Shift your identity to align with your goals. Remember, transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's built in the small, daily actions you take. So start today. Take one small step, even if it's just for 3 minutes. What's one habit you're starting today? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to cheer you on. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs it. If you're ready to keep growing, there's so much more to explore. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.